And now, live from Detroit, where together we shine, it's America's Thanksgiving Parade 2009.
And we shine so bright from face to face. And we shine a light from place to place. The sunny sky and starry nights. Oh, shine, oh, shine so bright from face to face. And we shine a light from place to place. The sunny skies and starry nights. Oh, shine, oh,
When I walk through a jam, no one knows who I am. Put your head on my chest, and I'm Mr. Success. 'Cause with you, pretty baby, standing by my side, I couldn't be a failure even if I tried. 'Cause you make me Mr. Success.
and we shine so bright from face to face. And we shine a light from place to place. The sunny skies and starry nights. And we all shine on and on. Ooh, we shine on.
The bands are lined up, the floats are too, balloons are inflated, we're ready, are you? The celebs are here and we're set to swoon. The reindeer have stretched, Santa's sleigh has been tuned. Down on the street, the clowns are darting. America's Thanksgiving Parade is starting.
It's Thanksgiving morning in downtown Detroit. We hope you'll spend the next hour with us. We want to welcome you to America's Thanksgiving Parade. I'm Carmen Harlan.
And I'm Devin Skillion. We're so glad you're with us, and what a great way to start.
Yeah.
That was Evan and Ryan Kasperzak of So You Think You Can Dance fame with their great interpretation of a medley, including the song called Together We Shine, and that's this year's parade theme.
That's right. It certainly is. They were wonderful from Michigan here in the Detroit area. Joining them on the straight were the dancers from Deborah's Stage Door Center for Performing Arts, and they were just fabulous.
Good
here
way to
this morning.
kick things off. We are so thrilled to be here with you to celebrate Thanksgiving morning with folks from all over the country. At the very start, we'll tip the hat to the Detroit Chevy dealers who in many ways power this parade. They provide a lot of the vehicles. We'll see.
That's right, and you'll be able to see that. And joining us also today, our own Chuck Gatica, who will be right down in the middle of all the action. Also celebrating the parade magic this morning, our own Guy Gordon and Rhonda Walker. Good morning and happy Thanksgiving.
Good morning. Good morning, Carmen and Devin, and good morning, America. Thank you so much for being with Local 4 for your Thanksgiving morning. We're so excited to bring you what is going to be a beautiful 83rd Annual America's Thanksgiving Parade.
And whichever point of the compass you are joining us from, we're glad to have you with us. We hope everything is well in your household. Get the kids up, get them ready, because we've got a great parade to show you. Whether you're a new friend or old friend, this is virtually an all-new parade.
Oh, it certainly is, and Chuck Gatica has the best seat in the house right there at ground level. Chuck, is everybody ready to go?
Guy, Rhonda, I think they are. We are getting all set for what's happening here right underneath the star balloons that we're kicking off the parade right now. You know, this is brought to you by Absopure. One of the balloon handlers just told me seconds ago he's been doing this for 25 years, so we've all got our own traditions of watching. Some people come out every morning for a quarter of a decade. Absopure, as you may know, has been doing this for a long time, delivering water, but they go way back to boxing up ice, delivering ice, and we saw this whole float and balloon area get kicked off with a Chevy Impala pace car. We want to thank the Detroit Chevy dealers for providing all the vehicles in this year's parade. 100 years of Absopure water, Michigan-based, delivering great tasting natural spring water and wonderful balloons to brighten up the beginning of this year's America's Thanksgiving Parade. Guy, Rhonda, up to you.
All right, and thank goodness no ice deliveries today.
Absolutely. Well, you can hear the sounds of a marching band. Eastern Michigan University University Marching Band, sponsored by Eastern Michigan University.
And this is comprised of 180 of the finest musicians and students on the Ypsilanti campus, led by Professor John Zestopel.
And the EMU Marching Band's nickname is Pride of the Peninsula. The band continues to be a strong supporter of EMU athletics, performing at all the home football games and many away conference and non-conference games in various venues throughout the southeastern Michigan area.
And let's give them a listen. Michigan University's musical royalty is followed by some equally regal figures.
Absolutely. 12 dancing princesses riding at the front of the float is the Queen's Court.
And day 26, you remember them from MTV's Making of the Band 4. They've been performing in Detroit, and they're right in the middle of all those a dozen princesses.
Yes, and riding at the end of the float are the parade queen, Brenna O'Malley from Sterling Heights.
There she is.
Miss Michigan USA, Rima Faki, as Miss Teen Michigan USA, Catherine McGee.
Now, the parade company created this Princess program this year. This recognizes women between the ages of 18 and 23 who are enrolled in a Michigan university. Candidates demonstrate a proven ability to invest their time and energy in the community in a positive way, and then they get, well, rewarded.
Yes, they do. And the iGroup Model and Talent Management, Michigan's premier and leading talent agency, is the proud sponsor of the Princess Scholarship Program. Each elected princess received a $250 scholarship, and the Queen received a $1,000 scholarship. Not bad.
By the way, this is the longest float ever built by the parade company artisans, 112 feet long. It's decorated with 37 pairs of Rhonda Walker's former shoes.
Yes, it is a beautiful float indeed. Carmen, Devin?
All right, Rhonda and Guy, certainly lots more to see. We've heard from one band this morning. We've got lots of bands and lots of floats to tell you about, and we're going to enjoy this as much as we can. The Chippewa Valley High School Big Reds Marching Band from Clinton Township, Michigan, is joining us this morning.
Brought to us by Comcast, because Comcast is sponsoring the Comcast Battle of the Bands. And as you're watching this morning, you can vote for your favorite high school marching band. You can do it online. Just head to clickondetroit.com all morning long and vote for your favorite.
That's right, and you can win bragging rights for that 09 band that wins that today. So cash in and give that Click on Detroit a call.
These are the Big Reds, the marching band from Chippewa Valley High School, 90-person band under the direction of Tim Hoey. We've got winds, percussion, color guard, and drum majors.
Take a listen. We're going to Christmas on parade.
By Detroit standards in November.
Let me tell you, it's mild.
Very comfortable. We've certainly had much colder days than this.
Ask anybody who's marching in a band this morning. It could be a whole lot worse.
But we've got huge crowds up and down Woodward Avenue. This morning, the Turkey Trot we saw usually has about 10,000 runners. This year, 15,000.
Isn't that amazing?
So the turnout that we're watching for Thanksgiving in Detroit this year is spectacular so far.
All right, and the Big Red Marching Band from Chippewa Valley High School, and coming to you from Clinton Township.
They sound great. We'll take a quick break. We'll continue live from downtown Detroit on America's Thanksgiving Parade, Thanksgiving morning, 2009.
Really can't stay.
That's the scene up Woodward Avenue on Thanksgiving morning in downtown Detroit. You're joining us live with America's Thanksgiving Parade.
Oh, it's a beautiful morning here in downtown Detroit, and you're looking at the Ford Motor Company's Driving a Better Future float. More than 160 Ford employees spent an estimated over 1,000 hours helping to build and design this wonderful float.
And of course, we all know what a turbulent time it's been for the automakers, but Ford really does feel like they have got a much brighter future these days, and they have had quite a year. A lot of success with their vehicles right now that they're seeing, both sales-wise and with the critics. And this float that we see, 160 Ford employees spent about 1,300 hours putting together, designing, and building, driving a brighter future.
Not only the car there, but there's Mars, Venus, and Saturn. There's spinning planets on this float. There's also the moon and a 4-foot globe of the Earth, and the sun is about 14 feet wide as it's making its way down Woodward Avenue.
And Ford says, despite the tough economy that we've seen all over the country, they believe in supporting communities because that is in the Ford DNA. And they'll tell you that that goes all the way back to the original days of Henry Ford.
And the Ford Motor Company has invested more money in volunteers in more cities in its 106-year history than any other company in the industry. So we want to welcome them this morning on Thanksgiving.
And in fact, the Ford Fund president, Jim Vela, walking in the parade today along with that group. And that's Rome by the B-52s. So let's roam on over to Guy and Rhonda.
Well, and I got to tell you, those Ford employees, 1,300 of them were up this morning with the Detroit Agency on Aging, and they were packing baskets for 5,700 homebound seniors. So
yes, they were.
It is in their DNA.
Well, speaking of packing, you know, the Fred Hill briefcase drill team packed up and went to New York and tried out the Macy's parade last year. Found out the grass isn't greener on the other side.
No.
Came back to us this year. Glad to have them back, aren't we?
We sent them a memo, and they got it, and they're back. Just like turkey and football, they are a part of this Thanksgiving tradition. Let's watch them go through their precision paces.
1, 2. 1, 2. Hold. Hey. 1, 2. Reset. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey. 1, 2. Businessman shuffle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Boom shakalaka.
Looking good. There they go. The Fred Hill briefcase drill team looking good.
And you know who always looks good every year? You notice who they were standing on Clowney's little marker there. Well, he's coming up right behind.
It is Clowney, the face of the parade company, and sponsored by Quicken Loans. The parade company's colorful mascot stands 40 feet tall with stars, ribbons, and bright, bold color.
And we've got 200 Quicken Team Loan members and their families here watching the America's Thanksgiving Parade. And of course, so many of them are going to be coming downtown. 1,500 of them will be coming to the CompuWare building when they move their headquarters down.
Yes, they will. And this is why more than 20 of their enthusiastic team members have come out to bring the parade mascot Clowney down Woodward Avenue for everyone to enjoy.
And we were talking about community-minded corporate leaders, Quicken Loans. They donate more than 1,500 volunteer hours to various nonprofits throughout Southeast Michigan.
We thank Quicken Loans, and we thank Chuck Gatica with our next float. Hey, Chuck.
Well, how are you? I'll tell you, I'm up on top of the WYCD Co-op Services Credit Union, the sharing billing on this float, and this is a big stage. You know, we've got to thank CBS Radio for bringing in not only Danny Goki, but also Josh Grayson. Good to see you. Welcome to Detroit.
Thanks for having me here. It's good to be here.
This parade, huh?
It's a great thing to grow up watching this as a kid and be able to be part of it today. It's just this is an amazing thing for me.
And you're right back to Nashville for dinner?
I'm headed back to Nashville for dinner. The wife's making sure that it's all ready for when I walk in. So it's a great day for me.
Let me just check out your wave before we go.
Oh.
There you go. Oh, perfect. Thanks, Josh. Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Rachel Hunter here for YCD. And don't forget, we've got to tell you that all the kids that are on board, Rachel, are all part of, they're all kids and grandkids of the Clown Corps, right?
That's right. It's all about the kids today, Chuck. Happy Thanksgiving to you, and thank you for the great weather. We're having a great time up here.
Well, we should also point out, Carmen Devin, what you're seeing, the artwork along the sides, all done by local artists, and the kids are having a blast. Back to you.
You can see it from our vantage point too, Chuck. And you know, we're talking about the battle of the bands here this Thanksgiving morning. We've got another one to introduce you to. They hail from Martin Luther King Jr. Senior High School Marching Band from Detroit, Michigan. This is their 4th appearance at America's Thanksgiving Parade.
As you can imagine, for the hometown parade, this is a huge competition every year among the Detroit bands, and they were the winner this year to be here today. And in fact, they've been here 4 consecutive years. They took first place the past 3 years in the Michigan School Band and Orchestra Festival, so they are getting used to success. And in fact, we're at the Summer Olympics in Beijing a
That's
year and a half
something,
ago.
and so they do travel far, but we're glad that they made it here with us this morning. They're under the direction of Victoria Miller, and if you listen closely, I think you're going to hear Stomp. Let's take a listen. All of the bands brought to you by Comcast, and you can get the best HD quality picture with Comcast and the most HD with over 1,000 high-def choices.
They were a great story. I remember talking about them being in Beijing. Remember with them trying to raise the money, the way the community came together to send them off, and what a great trip that was. But I think they like being at home too, just like this. Yeah.
I think everybody likes to be at home on Thanksgiving morning.
Yeah, we hope everything's off to a good start around your home this morning. We're so glad to be a part of it, and we've got much more to come. Live from Detroit, we'll continue with America's Thanksgiving Parade right after this.
Go away.
Well, I'm back down live on Woodward Avenue. We've got co-grand marshals this year, the Knights of the Charitable Roundtable, Art Van Furniture with Art Van Elslander and Paul W. Smith from WJR. Art, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
How you doing up there?
I'm doing wonderful. What a day. It's wonderful. Perfect. Thank you, Charlie.
Same to you and your family, too, Art. Good to see you, as always. Thank you very much. And here we've got Paul W. Smith, co-grand marshal. Oh, you're taking pictures?
Chuck Gatica. Wow. Thank you. I'll send you a copy. I'm sending everybody a copy of their picture.
Frank Beckman said.
Frank said I was going to, you know what I'm doing? I thought about the wave, you know, this thing they tell you, Detroit deserves the full wave.
Full wave.
Wave all morning long on this Thanksgiving. Thanks to see you, man.
All right, Carmen, Devin, that's it. We've got 2 grand marshals. They're headed your way.
All right, thank you, Chuck. And certainly the Knights of the Charitable Roundtable is one of the 7 new floats that will be making its way down Woodward Avenue as part of America's Thanksgiving Parade. And this is brought to you by Art Van Furniture.
We talked earlier, in a tough economic year, you would expect events like America's Thanksgiving Parade might have to be satisfied with standing pat, but they just don't know how to talk that language at the parade company. So again, 7 new floats are coming, and this one is spectacular. This one celebrates the 50th anniversary of the Art Van Furniture Company.
And they wanted to certainly share it with us. They started their own charity challenge by giving away $5,000 to $50,000 to 50 charities statewide. They stepped in and saved this parade many years ago, and certainly they deserve this particular float. Just take a look at it. There are books on the shelves that have names of previous parade contributions on their spines. 50 Art Van employees dressed as knights and dragons marching along with the float.
In the back there, you've got that enormous Tiffany-style lamp that actually lights up. Look at the clock spinning there in front.
And even
a lot of work gone into
the
this.
founder, Art Van Elslander's grandchildren are riding on the float. In fact, they even hand-painted some of the clocks on top of the float this year.
And now just behind us, that is enormous. That's a beautiful addition. You know, it's one of the things about the parade, of course. You get used to the ones that you see every year, your favorites, and traditions are a part of it, but at the same time, you got to try and expand the traditions every year.
We know that this is something that takes an effort all year long, and certainly it culminates on a day like today. And we're proud to have the Knights of the Charitable Roundtable with us as part of America's Thanksgiving Parade. Guy and Rhonda, back to you.
Oh, and it is so colorful and beautiful, isn't it?
There's so much going on that float.
Yes, it is.
And there's so much going on horseback as well. Our first equestrian unit coming by from Harmony Acres. George and Nancy Harm astride some beautiful animals.
Yes, from Northville, Michigan, Harmony Acres horses are known internationally for their parade appearances in beautiful, authentic costumes, and of course, for their very special tricks that they do with their horses.
Well, and one of the wonderful tricks that they do is help with the 4-H Fair's Therapeutic Riders program. I got to tell you, for children with physical and developmental needs, getting on the back of a horse is a dream come true, and really, you just see them brighten up. And my wife and daughter volunteer for that program, and it's just a wonderful contribution to our community, and you can't do it without horses.
Oh, you can. It certainly is a unique experience. All purebred Arabian horses. They're brothers and sisters, and they are beautiful.
Well, you know, we've all had to learn some new tricks, and that includes the news caterpillar. Now, he used to be a bookworm.
Yes.
Now, he's totally Wi-Fi connected.
Oh, he's totally Wi-Fi connected. This is the DetroitNews.com's news caterpillar. And yes, that's not a book. That is an oversized laptop he's carrying. He must be reading the news.
And look at that. That homepage is up there, and of course refreshes by the second. And like the rest of us, the Caterpillar gets their news every morning from Local 4 News Morning. And then, of course, once they're wired up at work, and check it at clickondetroit.com or DetroitNews.com.
Absolutely, and you can see it steaming along Woodward Avenue, snaking its way through. And we thank them so much for supporting and also promoting, of course, reading, whether online or a book. A great float, as always. The News Caterpillar is shooting confetti as well, if you can pick that up.
And Devin, I kind of like a laptop that size for Christmas. What do you say?
You won't need your glasses.
No, amen to that.
Carmen, Devin.
You know what? Maybe you'd like a unicycle, Devin, because we've got the Redford Unicycle Club. They're our first specialty unit of America's Thanksgiving Parade this morning. The club was started by one family back in 1975. There are now 24 unicycle riders in the parade today.
And look at these guys that are on these really extended unicycles.
Look at this.
It's one thing to show someone that you can do this maybe for a few feet. These guys are riding the entire length of this parade route down Woodward Avenue at a height of what looks to be about 10 or 12 feet.
Well, let me tell you,
on
they've
one
grown
wheel.
tremendously, and they include riders of all ages, not just all heights. And they're now 2- and 3-generation families who ride together, and they come from all around the greater Detroit area. Look at this.
We've got 24 unicycle riders in the parade today, so that means 24 wheels between them. But it looks like something out of a Dr. Seuss book. I mean, this is just so cool.
And they make it look so easy.
I know.
Let me tell you, we've got a little something for everyone this morning, and now see, that's more my speed. You know, a little jump rope on a unicycle.
Really, on a wheel? Okay. We'll get you out there to try it.
All right, hello to you as well. We've got music, we've got bands, we've got floats and balloons, and certainly riding a unicycle is part of this festivity today.
That is cool. All right,
Your
we've got
music?
our next marching band coming our way. And again, remember, you can vote for your favorite marching band at clickondetroit.com. Comcast is sponsoring that for us. And perhaps your choice will be the Greenville High School Marching Band under the direction of Miss Susan Gould, starting her 19th year as the band and orchestra director.
They've performed not just here in Detroit, but in Paris, Orlando, marched in the 2006 Citrus Bowl Parade. But this is their first time in America's Thanksgiving Parade. We want to say welcome to Greenville High School Marching Band.
They come to us from the other side of the state of Michigan, the other side of the Mitten. They are about 30 miles northeast of Grand Rapids, a town of about 8,000 folks or so.
I think they're playing Santa's Parade, so let's take a listen.
Gotten used to doing this, not here in Detroit. Hopefully they'll become a frequent visitor, but they've gotten used to success. The last couple of parades they've been in, they've been the judges' favorite and the best musical entry, and great to have them on Woodward.
It really is. The Greenville High School Marching Band parading down Woodward Avenue. We'll be back in a moment with more from downtown Detroit. Thanksgiving to you, too. We're coming to you live from downtown Detroit for America's Thanksgiving Parade. Devin, let's put America on wheels. Detroit always has.
Detroit's claim to fame, of course, and this float is sponsored by UAW, the United Auto Workers, and GM, General Motors. What a partnership that's been over the years, and a perfect example of the parade theme, which this year is Together We Shine.
We should tell you that 2009 marks the 25th anniversary of the organization, known as the CHR. Now that's short for it's the national headquarters for the partnership between this great union and great companies.
Center for Human Resources. And as you'll take a close look at this float, you will see a couple of, there you go, a couple of miniaturized versions of some vehicles that are terribly important, not just to the future of General Motors, but to the U.S.
Well,
we're going to see the Malibu Hybrid.
That's right, and we're all waiting for the Volt. That's a plug-in sedan that we've been talking about since last year's auto show.
A couple of weeks ago, the engineers from General Motors got to take home some Volts for the weekend, and when they got together to compare notes, they were getting somewhere around 260 miles to the gallon.
Unbelievable.
That's a life changer, isn't it, Guy?
It really is, Devin. We can't wait to get those cars on the road. And we'll start to see them about a year from now, winding up in the main streets driveways as well, and not just the engineers.
Well, take a look at this. Elmo has arrived, sponsored by State Farm. Another parade legend, of course, is Elmo. And State Farm, of course, is the #1 insurer of cars and homes in the United States and right here in Michigan with 17,700 agents, including my own brother, Ron Gillum. Good morning to my family this morning.
That's nice. State Farm reminds you no matter where you are, make sure that you and your family are protected from the unexpected and prepared for the future. And if you're traveling to and from the homes of different family members today, they want you to be mighty safe out there.
They certainly do, and they also want you to share some of your stories of thankfulness this holiday season to www.thanksforbeingthere.com if you want to log on. Let's take a look at what's coming up next. How about the official cleanup crew? Hoover.
That's right. They've got something special here. You know, you've had a lot of wacky dance partners in your time, but have you ever danced with a vacuum cleaner?
And this isn't just any vacuum cleaner. This is the hot new Hoover Wind Tunnel T-Series bagless upright vacuum. Might be a good Christmas gift. And guess who's dancing with them?
That's right. That's Cheryl Burke from Dancing with the Stars. We met Cheryl in our earlier hour. This is her first visit to Detroit as a member of the parade, and she's got 25 Cheryl Burke wannabes behind her with their odd dance partners.
Some of the most talented dancers in Metro Detroit, all from Deborah's Stage Door. And Hoover, by the way, is a Chicago company, but they chose the Detroit America's Thanksgiving Parade to showcase their Hoover vacuums and dancers.
And I got to tell you, we just got one of those vacuum cleaners. They are amazing.
A bit of an endorsement. There you go.
Incredible.
Thank you so much to Hoover and those incredible dancers. The Hoover T-Series Cha-Cha Dance Routine. There you have it.
Chuck, I gave one of those to my wife for her birthday, which would normally, I would be served with papers, but that's what she wanted.
She loved it.
All right, you know, it could come from my float. It's all recycled materials, then you would be part of the team for sure. This is a great float. This one is called Saving Our Future, brought to you by the Charter One Foundation. And it's kind of a double-edged meaning. Saving our future meaning saving for your future, cash-wise, as well as saving our future with recycled materials. Now, it's cool. You look at this float, it looks like all the other floats, but we've got 20-ounce bottles making one flower on board. 300 leads on these trees are made from 2-liter bottles and milk jugs. And then we've got greenery on the float, recycled styrofoam. The whole message here is save our future. And we've got all the kids that are all here. We've got workers from Charter One. Their kids are in line helping as well. And we've got to give a shout out to Deborah Agrusa, who's from the Deborah Stage Door Dancers, helping along the parade route here as well. Saving our future, the Charter One Foundation. And what a beautiful job they've done with recycled materials, Carmen Devin. You can't tell the difference between this and the other floats that have come by. Up to you.
Not really, but you're looking good, Chuck. You know, floats and marching bands are all part of what we're seeing here this morning, and certainly the music of the season. And the dancing with the Hoover vacuum cleaner.
That was a
boy,
new one.
Oh boy, that was a new
one.
one. But we've got music. The Jackson 5's I Want You Back is going to be brought to life by the Truman High School Marching Band, brought to you by Comcast.
And that's under the direction of Jason Cassell, the band so proud to represent the city of Taylor, the Taylor School District, and of course, everyone at Truman High.
Let me tell you, they've been pretty busy. They've performed for the Detroit Lions, the Detroit Tigers, the Red Wings, and they've even performed for President Bill Clinton on 2 different occasions. So we want to welcome them here this Thanksgiving morning.
Let's check out I Want You Back.
You back. The Truman High School Marching Band, all the way from the city of Taylor. We'll be back with more from America's Thanksgiving Parade from downtown Detroit right after this.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place
Crowds
to
in
go,
downtown Detroit, welcome back to America's Thanksgiving Parade live from Woodward Avenue.
Now, Devin, what would a parade be without clowns?
It wouldn't be much of a parade, Carmen.
Not much fun, would it? But we've got a distinguished group of clowns, and let me tell you, behind these masks, or not masks, but face paint and clown suits, these are serious 100 community leaders and corporate leaders that are committed to making this great parade take place every year.
Trade their business suits for clown suits and face paint and lots and lots of bead necklaces. In fact, you see those right there that they're dangling? 400,000 of
Let
those
me
are
tell
going to
you,
be tossed to the
there
crowd
will be
today.
outstretched hands waiting to receive those. The distinguished Grand Jester is Bill White. He's leading the clowns down the parade route this Thanksgiving.
And underneath the grease paint, Detroiters all know a lot of these names. Eric Larson, in fact, his 18-year-old daughter Paige is with him this year, first-time clown.
Isn't
and
that
that's
something how they're passing this on?
Right, but Tony Early, Elaine McMahon, Sid Ross, Cindy Paskey, who is going to become the new chairman of the parade company next year, Matt Cullen, the outgoing. So
that's right.
Really
and we want to
a great
welcome
group.
2 new clowns, Jeff Bergeron and Lisa Bauer, representing Ernest & Young, the sponsor of this year's Distinguished Clown Corps. Take a look at this.
And cool
What a
for
group of
Ernst &
people.
Young because the parade is marching right past their new headquarters located downtown in the center of the city in downtown.
And their lovable mascot, Clowny, is on that float, but I see Chuck. Hi, Chuck.
Well, hi, Carmen. Could you pick me out from the Clydesdales? 8 of these big guys here, and this is awesome. Brought to you by Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser. There are 8 of these wonderful animals hitched, and you know, they travel all over the country. They do about 500 different parades and festivals, state fairs every year. And believe it or not, these horses travel 100,000 miles every single year, and we are so honored to have them back in this year's parade. They're smart and beautiful animals, and they've been part of this great tradition with Anheuser-Busch going back to 1933. And I'll tell you what, this thing is spit, shine, ready to go, and I have to give you the inside scoop because I'm seeing it when you don't. They actually walk up and they wipe the horses' mouths. They want everything to look perfect as they're making their way down this parade route. Guy, Rhonda, I haven't seen the Budweiser yet, but I'm near the horse.
Chuck, they only want the foam on the beer, not on, not on the horse.
Gotcha.
And how'd you like to have to polish that tack?
Oh,
all
my
that
goodness.
leather.
Looking good.
Let
And the
me tell you.
Dalmatian too, right? Well, how about the next float? Mother Goose. Huntington National Bank sponsors Mother Goose.
I suppose we should do this in rhyme, but that would just be way too difficult. Mother Goose would shame us. Huntington National Bank has a love of this tradition. They've been proudly serving their customers for 143 years, and always under the Huntington name. In a merger and acquisition crazed world, Huntington has stood alone.
Oh, yes, it has. And hey, riding on that float is Real Housewife of New York City star. Oh, yeah, she's here. Bethany Frankel and Jason Hoppy.
She's
Glad to
also
have them here.
an outstanding chef and author of the best-selling book Naturally Thin, and she attended the National Gourmet Institute for Health and Culinary Arts. And she focuses on sharing her passion for healthy living with others, and always a good message to send.
Yes, especially on Thanksgiving as we get ready to feast.
So I think for the next few hours we may be ignoring it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we should mention Huntington National Bank was named top places to work in Metro Detroit by the Detroit Free Press for the second year in a row. So congratulations to all of them.
Now, one of the greatest traditions that we have here are our balloons and our floats that are designed by area children. It all starts with a crayon, a piece of paper, and a lot of imagination. And that's what we have with the turtle.
Yes, we do. Students from 4th through the 8th grade from the Skillman Foundation's Good Neighbors were invited to submit the designs, and this design was created, and it is a beautiful turtle flying high in the sky along Woodward Avenue, and it was created by a wonderful Freddie Burse from Clifford Academy in Detroit. He's a 7th grader, and he is accompanying his balloon at the parade this year. Congratulations to him.
We couldn't do this without the Skillman Foundation doing so many good works in our community, but they're the ones that sponsor this Good Neighborhoods program, and they were invited the kids to submit these designs, 4th through 8th graders, and you should see some of the creations that we see every year. They are truly marvels.
They certainly are, and the foundation will celebrate its 50th anniversary in 2010. Rose Skillman, the founder. We thank all of the folks at Skillman for doing so much for our Detroit schools. Carmen, Devin?
Oh, they've got to be so proud to see that come to life that way.
It's just magical, from the imagination of a child to a piece of paper to riding over Woodward
Well,
Avenue.
are you ready for a sleigh ride?
Sure, let's go.
Okay, Michigan's known as the Winter Wonderland. We don't have much snow around today, but let me tell you, the spirit is here. We've got the Marysville High School Marching Band.
Under the direction of Dennis Dusso, it's 180 members strong, and they have received first division ratings 14 years in a row.
So you know they're good. They've earned their place. Let's take a listen.
There they are, the pride of Marysville, the Marysville High School Marching Band, and there is still so much more to come. In fact, see that huge fellow in his underwear right back there? You don't
We
wanna
know
miss
him
that.
personally.
So stick around. America's Thanksgiving Parade continues live from downtown Detroit in just a minute.
Well, we told you when we left you that we knew this guy personally, Captain Underpants.
He's
well,
coming.
he certainly, yes, he is coming. He's waiting to make his entrance. But there's so much for everyone here at America's Thanksgiving Parade. We want to welcome you if you're just joining us on this Thanksgiving morning, wishing a special holiday to you and your family.
With Carmen Harlan, I'm Devin Skillian. We've also got Guy Gordon, Rhonda Walker, and Chuck Gatica with us, and a couple 100,000 who've lined the streets of Detroit. Let's get back out to Chuck.
Well, follow the vegetable road. If you want to be healthy, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, the parade company, have come together to create this float. And Madison Nicolini, who just turned 13, you designed this out of your brain, right?
Yeah.
How'd you come up with this great idea?
The theme was health, so I thought of vegetables and kids playing. And so I made what I was thinking.
Here it is, and Marilyn Kluge is our winner of the Biggest Loser Detroit edition. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Can we be so forward as to ask how many pounds you lost?
No, 47 pounds.
That's awesome. So what about Thanksgiving? Do you have to worry, or have you done your duty?
No, I'm still worrying, but I'll have a little fun.
Well, it's great to see you. Congratulations, and congratulations to you as well.
Thank
You know, we've got Guy and Rhonda, a bunch of employees from Blue Cross Blue Shield surrounding this. This is all designed by that one young lady we just introduced you to, and there's a 10-foot tall carrot. She said she put a bicycle rider, a lot of other things on here to indicate exercise, vegetables, and fruits. You can eat your way to healthful living on Thanksgiving Day, too. Back up to you.
We are hungry. You see who's coming? He's the Baron of Briefs, the Prince of the Plunger, the Sultan of Skivvies, and the Superboy of BVDs.
Oh, where did you come up with that? What a line. I'm loving that. Well, you know, Captain Underpants is one of the brave ones because, you know, temperatures are around 40 degrees here in downtown Detroit, but he is just one of those kind of people that says, I'm bearing it all, almost.
Not a goosebump on him. And he is caped out and ready to fly down the avenue. Of course, he's brought to us by the good folks at the Parade Company, and you can keep up on all of this and also donate to the Parade Company by going to www.theparade.org.
Yes, and congratulations to the Parade Company. They won the Gold Pinnacle Award at last month's International Festival and Events Association Conference for having the best volunteer program, and we know that they are fantastic. Carmen and Devin?
Well, we're moving on to building a life
Yes, we
now.
are. Brought to you by National City, now a part of PNC. And let me tell you, they've been here for a number of years, all the branches early next year, along with new and improved financial products and services for Southeastern Michigan.
And in fact, the float represents the many phases of our financial lives, including whether you're saving for a child's education, trying to buy a house, buying a car, building a business, planning for your retirement, all of those. And this is done board game style.
And all the marchers alongside the float are employees of National City, now part of PNC Bank, and they were choreographed by Deborah of Deborah's Doors Stage Door Dancers.
This might be a little bit bigger than the last board game you played at your house. The spinner on this game board is about 5 feet long.
Look at that.
About 12 feet tall, actually spins. And the piggy bank, if you could fill it, would hold about $200.
Now, did you see the hammer? Don't miss that, because that weighs over 1,000 pounds, and a banker owl with 300-inch waist. Oh my goodness. I hear music.
Which means Comcast is bringing us yet another marching band. And again, you can vote for your favorite marching band and click on Detroit.com, thanks to Comcast. And that includes the Belleville High School Marching Band.
Let me tell you, made up of all 216 members, all participating students are involved in one or more ensembles at the Belleville High School.
They come to us under the direction of the Director of Bands, and that is Mr. Nicholas Taylor, and the Assistant Marching Band Directors, Mr. Michael Campbell and Jerry Beaver.
And the band would like to say thank you for having us, Detroit. Don't Stop Believing is what they're playing today. Let's take a listen.
We'll be back with more of America's Thanksgiving Parade live from Woodward Avenue in Detroit in just a minute.
Beautiful campus, Marsh's Park, and the rink is in full swing, and a beautiful day to go for a skate right in the center of downtown Detroit.
Welcome back to the 83rd Annual America's Thanksgiving Parade here in downtown Detroit along our lovely Woodward Avenue. So glad that you're starting off your Thanksgiving with us. We have another beautiful float coming our way. Compliments of DT Energy Foundation. The float is called Energy Innovators.
That's right. And you can see Louis Latimer, Thomas Edison, the Menlo Park Laboratory recreated right there on that float, and also three guys who love to hear the cheers.
Absolutely. And you know, Together We Shine is our theme for this parade. And take a look at who's all shining together today. We have Louis the Lightning Blood, joined by Rory, the mascot of the Detroit Pistons, the mascot of the Detroit Lions, I should say, the Detroit Pistons mascot, and also the mascot of the Detroit Tigers, all together on one float. Not bad.
That's right. Not that they ever compete against one another, but they come together and shine for the America's Thanksgiving Parade. Good to see them. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Guy, Rhonda, look at this. This is a float, or a balloon rather, with a very unique story. This is the Peacock, brought to you by the paradecompany.org. And we actually had a year where it was too windy and they couldn't fly many of the balloons. This was one of them that's never made it into the parade. And you know, the Parade Company warehouse is huge, almost 250,000 square feet, where they design and store many of these balloons and floats. You should also know that balloons from the parade company go all over the world, from Moscow to Mexico City, San Juan, Puerto Rico. They've been all over, and they're borrowed and they're rented by many parades and organizations around. So that's kind of cool to know. But this guy finally made it into the parade. And Carmen and Devin, I'm looking up because I'm not sure which end of the Peacock I'm walking under. Over to you.
That can happen sometime. But you know what? We're looking. I thought I saw just a little peek or a hint of a blue sky there, certainly on this Thanksgiving morning here in downtown Detroit. There's a better shot of the Peacock.
And that story, and of course the wind reminds us always, every year, of the concerns with the balloons and the wind. But the year that Chilly Willie broke loose from his moorings and flew to Canada.
Well, here's a parade favorite, Devin. The Mid-American Pom-Pom All-Star Team making their 23rd appearance in America's Thanksgiving Parade.
This is a pretty darn elite group. This is comprised of members that represent over 30 of the top high school pom-pom and dance teams from across the state. These young ladies get together at the Mid-American Pom-Pom Summer Camp, which is held every year at Northwood University, and they have to audition, and the best of the best end up making the cut for the parade.
Well, this year the All-Stars are debuting new pom-poms, and everyone is using one. It's blue, a blue one and a red one, and certainly we want to welcome them back to America's Thanksgiving Parade. Walking on Sunshine is what they're dancing to and marching to.
186 of them here from the 500 or so who auditioned.
And you know they learn their routines from a DVD, can you imagine? And they only rehearse one time before the parade. Take a look at this.
It doesn't matter what the sky looks like, it doesn't matter what the thermometer says. Every year on Thanksgiving morning, we are walking on sunshine in downtown Detroit, one of the best days of any year.
You know, there's so much more parade excitement to come for Michigan viewers, but right now we'd like to say goodbye to our audience from around the country.
So glad you were here to share this Thanksgiving tradition with us. On behalf of Carmen Harlan, Chuck Gatica, Guy Gordon, Rhonda Walker, and everyone here in Detroit, I'm Devin Skillian, hoping you have a warm and wonderful holiday season.
Happy Thanksgiving.